Now we calculate expression for torque acting on the rigid body. In rotational motion, we know when rigid body perform motion, every particle has the same angular acceleration. But each particle is present at a different distance, and this distance of particle acts as a radius of circular path, and hence linear acceleration of each particle in rotational motion, it is different. Now we calculate expression for torque acting on the rigid body. Now let us consider this is rigid body of any shape, and suppose this body, it is performing rotational motion about an axis passing through any point with constant angular acceleration alpha. Body is performing rotational motion. Consider this body, it is made up of n number of particles. M1, M2, M3 and so on up to Mn represent mass of each particle, and consider these particles are present at distance r1, r2, r3 and so on up to rn from the axis of rotation. This is first particle. Mass of first particle, it is m1, and particle is present at distance r1 from the axis of rotation. Suppose this is second particle, it is present at distance r2 from the axis of rotation. Third particle, it is of mass m3 and it is present at distance r3 from the axis of rotation. In this way, body consists of n number of particles. This body, it is performing rotational motion about an axis passing through any point O with constant angular acceleration alpha. In rotational motion, angular acceleration of each particle, it is same. We know radius of circular path for each particle, it is different, and therefore by relation A, it is equal to R into alpha. Linear acceleration of each particle, it is different. Now we calculate linear acceleration of first particle. This linear acceleration of first particle, it is denoted by A1, and A1 it is given by formula R1 into alpha. R1, it is the distance of particle, and we know when particle moves along the circumference of circle, that distance acts as a radius of circular path. Now, by using Newton's second law of motion, we know force acting on the particle, it is suppose denoted by F1, and F1 it is equal to mass of particle into its acceleration. Therefore, F1 it is equal to mass into R1 into alpha, and this is equation number 2. Force acting on a particle. Now we calculate torque acting on a particle. Now we calculate torque acting on the first particle. Suppose it is denoted by torque 1, and we know it is actually cross product of R and F. That means magnitude of R1 into magnitude of F1 into sine of theta. Now here theta is 90, sine 90 it is equal to 1. Therefore torque acting on the first particle, it is given by R1 into M1 into R1 into alpha. Therefore we get M1 R1 square alpha, and suppose this is equation number 3. This is torque acting on the first particle. By using same method, we calculate torque acting on the second particle as well as torque acting on the each particle. Therefore, now consider linear acceleration of second particle. It is denoted by A1, it is denoted by A2, and A2 it is equal to R2 into alpha. Now, by the Newton's second law, force acting on the second particle, it is equal to product of its mass and acceleration. M2 into R2 into alpha. This is force acting on the second particle. Therefore, torque acting on the second particle about axis of rotation, it is equal to M2 R2 square into alpha. This is torque acting on the second particle. By using same method, we can calculate torque acting on third particle. Torque acting on nth particle, it is equal to Mn Rn square alpha. Lastly, total torque acting on a body. Total torque acting on a body, it is equal to sum of torque acting on each particle. Therefore, total torque acting on the body, it is equal to torque acting on first particle plus torque acting on second particle up to torque acting on n particle. Substituting value, we get M1 R1 square alpha plus M2 R2 square alpha plus and so on Mn Rn square alpha. Now alpha is common, therefore inside the bracket we get M1 R1 square plus M2 R2 square plus and so on up to Mn Rn square. If we observe this bracket carefully, then we find this bracket, it is the sum of product of mass of each particle and square of distance of particle from the axis of rotation. Therefore, by the definition, it is a moment of inertia of this rigid body about axis of rotation. Moment of inertia, it is denoted by I, and therefore I into alpha. This is expression for torque acting on the rigid body. Unit of torque, it is Newton into meter. In this way, expression for torque acting on the body. We define angular momentum. Before angular momentum, we know what is linear momentum. Linear momentum, it is denoted by P, and product of mass of particle and velocity, it is known as linear momentum. Product of mass of particle and its linear velocity, it is known as linear momentum. Unit of linear momentum, it is kilogram into meter per second. M to the power 1, L to the power 1, T to the power minus 1. This is dimension of linear momentum. We define what is angular momentum. consider this is a particle of mass m, and this particle is performing circular motion along the circumference of circle. This is axis of rotation. Particle is moving along the path with linear velocity v. Then angular momentum of this particle about axis of rotation, it is equal to cross product of r and p. Cross product of position vector of particle and linear momentum, it is known as angular momentum. Therefore, magnitude of first vector into magnitude of second vector into sine of theta. This is formula to calculate angular momentum. M into V into R into sine theta. But remember, here theta it is 90. Linear momentum it is along the direction of tangent. Therefore, angle between position vector and tangent at any position it is 90, and therefore magnitude of angular momentum it is equal to mvr. Unit of angular momentum it is kilogram into meter square per second. M to the power 1, L to the power 2, T to the power minus 1. This is dimension of angular momentum. Now we calculate angular momentum of rigid body. Consider rigid body. It is performing rotational motion. In rotational motion, we know linear velocity of each particle is different because radius of circular path is different. But angular velocity of each particle it is same. Therefore, consider rigid body of any shape. This body it is performing rotational motion about an axis passing through any point O with constant angular velocity omega. This body it is suppose made up of n number of particles. Let M1, M2, M3 and so on up to Mn represent mass of n particle, and consider particles are present at distance r1, r2 and so on up to rn from the axis of rotation. This is first particle, mass of first particle it is m1. Particle is present at distance r1 from the axis of rotation. Second particle it is present at distance r2 from the axis of rotation. Third particle it is present at distance r3 from the axis of rotation. In this way, body it is made up of n number of particles, and particles are present at distance r1, r2, r3 from the axis of rotation. In rotational motion, angular velocity of each particle is same. Angular velocity of each particle it is same. Now particles are present at different distance. Particles they are situated at a different distance from the axis of rotation. And this distance of particle acts as a radius of circular path, and therefore for each particle this radius of circular path is different, and hence if we calculate linear velocity of each particle, then linear velocity of each particle it is different. Therefore we calculate linear velocity of first particle, it is denoted by V1, and V1 it is equal to R1 into omega. We now calculate linear momentum of particle. This linear momentum, it is denoted by P1, and we know product of mass and velocity, it is equal to linear momentum. Substituting value, we get m1 into r1 into omega. This is expression for linear momentum of particle. Now we calculate linear momentum of this particle about axis of rotation. We now calculate angular momentum, not linear momentum, angular momentum of particle. This angular momentum, it is denoted by L1, and L1 it is equal to R1 into P1. Therefore, we get M1 R1 into omega into R1. This is angular momentum of first particle. M1 R1 square omega. This is equation number 4. By using same method, that is by calculating velocity initially, then linear momentum, and after that angular momentum for second particle as well as each particle, we calculate total angular momentum of rigid body. The procedure to calculate angular momentum of second particle, it is same, and therefore we write expression for linear velocity of second particle. It is V2 and formula R2 omega. Therefore now linear momentum of second particle, it is denoted by P2, product of mass and velocity. Therefore M2 R2 omega. This is linear momentum of second particle. Similarly, angular momentum of second particle about axis of rotation. Angular momentum. Angular momentum, it is L2, and L2 it is equal to R2 into P2, that is M2 into R2 into omega into R2. Therefore M2 R2 square omega. This is angular momentum of second particle. Similarly, angular momentum of third particle M3 R3 square omega. In this way, we can calculate angular momentum of any particle. For a last particle, expression is Mn Rn square omega. Total angular momentum of complete body, it is equal to sum of angular momentum of each particle. That is angular momentum of first particle plus angular momentum of second particle, and so on up to angular momentum of n particle represent total angular momentum of rigid body. Therefore M1 R1 square omega plus M2 R2 square omega plus M3 R3 square omega and so on. represent angular momentum of rigid body. Now taking common, we get m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus and so on up to mn rn square. Remember, this bracket, it is a sum of product of mass of each particle and square of distance of particle from the axis of rotation. By the definition, this bracket represent moment of inertia of this rigid body about axis of rotation. Therefore, I into omega, this is expression for the angular momentum of rigid body. In this way, total angular momentum of body